Hi, it's David. I'm going to read today from the book, page 72 and 73 a little bit. In the background are going to be these trail cam photos from kind of a neighbor of mine right out here in the Great Plains, Ryan Munn. So, page 72. Besides Elmer Blankenship, Tom Barnes and Earl Davis also lived in Forks, Washington. From my home in Dallas, Oregon, I had begun a systematic search for good bobcat dogs. Such dogs in my area were forbidden to outsiders like me. I just knew that if I looked hard enough somewhere, someone would let me in. I thought it might help if they were far enough away that I could not possibly be a threat to their hunting territory. Part of my problem was that as a young pastor, I made little money, and my wife was a full-time college student. I needed to buy a puppy because that was all I could afford. I called every bobcat hunter I could track down to try and learn what I could. My calls moved north as contact led to contact, like jumping a marble across a Chinese checkerboard. Anytime my calls got into the older men in the Washington area, I would hear about a dog named Kendall's Little Millie. She was always spoken of as the best bobcat dog they had ever seen. So I set out to find something descending from Little Millie. Earl Kendall had just recently died, but I was able to contact his wife Edith. She sent me a picture of Mr. Kendall with Millie, which, sadly, I can no longer find. I still have their address, though. It was 1344 Alonda Lane, Northeast, Olympia, Washington, 98506. Eventually, I discovered the dog named Skillman's Mike. I was told that Mike went back to Kendall's Little Millie 3 times. He also went back to Ray Mare's Mike dog. Mike was a littermate brother to Mare's Finley River Dan. Dan belonged to Ray's son Lonnie. This chain of phone calls also led me to my first conversation with Elmer Blankenship. We arranged to hunt together, and that is when I got to meet Elmer's hammer dog. I remember on that hunt, Elmer talking to me about Skillman's Mike. He told me that Bob Skillman actually had Mike up for sale. This was around 1982. He told me Mike could never be 100% broke off coyotes, or he would probably buy the dog himself. I've always had everything I need, and I bless God. But there have been misunderstood moments when I thought I badly needed something and could not get it. This was one of those moments, and Skillman's Mike was that something I thought I needed. I couldn't afford to get him, and look here, somehow I'm still alive. But at that time, it was killing me. I'm going to attempt to play a phone conversation that I had with Tim Pitman and recorded. This was about 2014. And he informed me that Bergin Riddle had some information on Kendall's Little Millie that shocked me, actually. I will play this conversation, and then in another video, I'll play the conversation that I had with Bergen. And this won't be for everyone, I realize that, but I'm just putting it out there in case there's someone out there that has interest in this topic. And realize that oral history can quickly become changed, and each transfer from the original source can lose information or accuracy. And so take this conversation and put it together with Bergen's to kind of piece together what actually happened. All right, here we go.
Pittman, please leave me your name and phone number and a brief message. Thanks.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Hey, Tim, it's David Peightal, and you left me a very interesting message. Maybe a little bit surreal, actually. Give me a call. Hello.
Hello, David.
Yeah, hi, Tim.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good deal.
So you had a phone call, sounds like.
Yeah, Bergin Riddle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, talked to him for a long time, and he'd like to share all that with you if you're interested.
Yeah. I recognize his name, but I can't really place him.
Charlie Tant. That's who Charlie Tant lived with when he died.
Oh, well.
Is Bergin Riddle.
Well, he was living in Oregon then, right?
No.
Where was Charlie Tant when he died?
New Mexico. There, either. Well, he was either at Tehachapi, California, with Bergen, or New Mexico, Reserve, New Mexico, one of the two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But he was reading your book, and he said, "I bet those guys would have a really hard time tracing down that little Millie dog of Earl Kendall."
Yeah.
And I said, that's what I've heard. And he said, "I could tell you why." And I said, "Why is that?" And he goes, "Well," he said, "Millie got registered." He goes, "But most of the registration on there is fictitious."
Oh. Okay.
And I said, "Okay." He said, "Well, she came straight from Charlie Tant."
Oh.
So he said she came straight from him, and her daughter named Bess. Ted Hastings owned her, and anyway, Bess ended up at Bergen's place, and he ended up buying her, and she died there at Bergen's place.
Oh.
So anyway, he knows quite a little bit about which dog she was out of and this and that.
What did he tell you? Do you remember any of it, or?
Yeah, he does. I told him, I said, "Well, I won't know much of it." I said, "But I'll pass the information up to David and see what he says." And he said, "Yeah, that'd be great." He said, "Let him know." I said, so, remember Cecil J? That used to go by the old Cecil J guy that went on the...
I sure do. He just disappeared.
He disappeared. I think he might have died.
I wondered if he did, because I had his phone number and everything, and then it, no longer worked, and it seemed like his family was trying to keep him away from the computer and stuff, so I couldn't tell. I wondered about that, but he sure knew a lot of stuff from back then.
Did you know him as Cecil Sargent, or what did you know him as?
No, I didn't. I mean, the only way I knew him was on the computer. I mean,
well, I know his middle name was Jack, but Cecil Sargent got 4 dogs from Charlie Tant and took them back to California with him first, and then up to Olympia, and that's how Earl Kendall got that Millie dog.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So interesting stuff,
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I knew that guy was just more than what people realized.
I thought so too. I tried to get a hold of him several times after he disappeared off there.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, he knew my dogs, and he knew what happened to some of my pups that that I didn't know about and everything, and it was just like, wow, who is this guy?
Yeah. Yeah. So interesting, huh?
Wow. Huh.
So,
that is, it's weird. Well, I figured she was, I knew that them those registered treeing walkers up there in Washington had to be single registered dogs, at least come down from single registration, because they had running dog. It was obvious in them and everything, and but that's interesting. I had no clue that she was a Charlie Tant dog.
Isn't that interesting now?
Oh gosh, this just floors me. Wow. Yeah, that is. It's wild.
Do you have a pen and paper?
I not only do I have a pen and paper, but I'm recording this because I didn't want to miss any of it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bergen's number is 575.
I mean, he's pretty famous, or how?
He was a pretty well known he trapped and hunted for the government in California, and then he moved to New Mexico and did a lot of lion hunting down there and bobcat hunting. He liked to catch bobcats. That was one of his main deals.
Okay.
And Dewey took his cat female, which was called Rainy. He took her down there to get her bred at Bergen's, and then drove all the way down there to get her bred, and then she ended up not taken.
Oh.
She didn't have any pups.
Oh.
So, and but man, that guy's a wealth of knowledge. I mean, he knew the guy that was a famous actor, movie star guy that went up there and bought Bess and tried to buy Little Millie from Earl, and I guess he didn't succeed the first time or something like that, but then he ended up getting her, and then he ended up taking some dogs back and breeding to Earl's Duke dog. And Duke was a male that he had, and that's how that Bess came about out of Little Millie.
Oh, so Earl actually made that cross then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty. Yeah, Bergen's got it all down. I mean, he can just sit there and rattle it all off to you. So I figured I might hook you guys up and let you know.
All right. Yeah, well, I probably better wait till tomorrow or something. It's getting kind of late, I suppose, to be called. How old is he now, do you know?
He'll be 80 next month.
Oh, 80, okay.
Yeah.
And does he still have dogs, or?
He still has dogs. He said if he still had his tat dogs and still had some of that cross, he'd be hunting hard still, because he said he's still in really good physical condition.
Oh, what do you know?
So.
But all that blood's gone, huh?
Yeah, he said he lost his last male 2 years ago, up and died on him, and he didn't get a cross made in the right amount of time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you. And you happen to call him for why?
I was curious about those Charlie Tat dogs, because I know Roland Wilson and Dewey and several guys had really good luck with them, and I thought, just why, what chance if he still had some of that?
Okay.
Yeah, and he said that Stan Meacham still had quite a little bit of that up in Utah. Well, not quite a little bit, but more than he knew of anywhere else.
Oh, okay.
And then he named some other guys off. I'm trying to think of who else I had written down. I'm looking. No, I didn't have anybody else written down. We got to talking about those ones that go out of Derringer stuff and all that now, and Pat Wantman and some of that stuff. So we got to rattling about all kinds of things, and he said he's usually up till 9 o'clock or so every night, and he loves to talk. So, and I think they're only at 7 o'clock there right now. So anyway, I figured, yeah.
Okay, might be all right to call him then. No, you think?
Oh, I sounded like he was fine to call him anytime. He's more than eager to talk to people about all that stuff. So.
No.
Yeah.
Did he?
He loves your book.
Oh, he did. Oh, good.
Yeah.
That floors me, man, when guys like that. I like that book, I can't get over that.
What I'm curious about is there was a guy up there named Bob Skillman that had a Skillman's mic.
Right.
Well, now Bergen seemed to think that was related to those dogs too.
Well, yeah,
because
Skillman's Mike had Little Millie in his pedigree 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what I wondered, because Tom Barnes had told me and Dewey that he knew Skillman's Mike was registered.
Yeah.
But he knew the crosses on it, and he said there was quite a bit of running dog in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that dog had a tremendous flag on his tail. I mean, You'll never see a Treeing Walker with as much flag as Skillman's Mike. At least I never have.
Right.
As much as...
Well, that's kind of the interesting deal is Bergen said, he said, there was a guy up there, and he said, I don't remember his last name. His name's Bob. I said, Skillman? And he said, I don't know, the dog's name was Mike. And I said, yeah. And he goes, I believe that was either a litter mate to Millie or out of Millie. And he said, I can't remember how that worked. He said, I'd have to go back and look at some of my stuff.
Oh, interesting. And
I said, oh, yeah. And he goes, well, that's got lots of Charlie's blood in it right there. So.
Wow, that's weird, man. So yeah, because I mean, his papers wouldn't have been right either.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
So he very well could have been his brother, her brother, or anything, as far as we know, because none of them papers were right anyway back then.
Yeah.
But that's wild. Cause my Dale Looney took that rainbow dog I had. Bred her to Skillman's Mike. She had 10 puppies, and I guess, and this is something that, somebody was saying that it might even be Tom Barnes, was saying that Mike threw a lot of bear dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when that cross was made. I guess they just made tremendous bear dogs. I don't think they made really good cat dogs. But 10 top bear dogs, he said, came out of that cross. Now, but Chant was a government hunter, right?
Yes, he was.
So he hunted bear. His dogs had to catch everything, right?
You know, I don't know if he hunted bear hardly at all. I know he hunted a lot of lions, and
okay.
And then I know he loved the bobcat hunt.
Okay.
He catch bobcats too. So,
did Bergen say anything about how Charlie developed those dogs?
yeah, kind of told him the same thing Dewey did, that he would he would line breed them, but every third generation or something like that, he'd send to Texas to get a Goodman Walker to throw into them.
Oh, Goodman.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Bergen tell you all that stuff. When he started coming on, I said, "Hey, I got to get David your phone number and get you guys hooked up." And he goes, "Oh yeah, do that. I'd love to talk to him." He said, "I love that book." And I said, "Oh, you got his book?" And he goes, "Yeah, I love that book. Man, that book's great."
That's cool.
So,
Yeah, I'll give him a call. I might even do it now. I can think about what else I got to get done. But anyway, yeah. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate you thinking of me. And
no problem. If you get it all traced down and find some unpopular, just let me know.
you know, this is tough for me, Tim, because the book was kind of a way for me to quit. To quit. It's kind of like I gotta get this out of my blood, and I gotta, I don't really just want all this to just die with it. And so it's kind of tough now because people like that, I'm getting calls like that, and a tree and walker guy from West Virginia, I don't know how he got my number, but he left me a message, and he's a guy that I've heard of since I was a kid, and he calls me up, and stuff like that. I'd love to talk to him, but it just kind of tortures me when I start talking this stuff again. But anyway, yeah, I'll have to call him just for curiosity,
Right.
But yeah, how are you doing?
This is Bergen. Leave a message and I'll call you back.
Hi, Bergen. This is David Peightal. I got your number from a friend of mine, Tim Pitman, and he said you wouldn't mind if I gave you a call and talk. He said you had some information on Earl Kendall's Millie dog and stuff like that, and I was just going to pick your brain a little bit if you have time. So I work a lot, but give me a call when you have time, and maybe let me know when is a good time to try to call you back. So anyway, blessings on you, and we'll talk later. Yeah.
His name Jim or Ken?
It's Tim, starts with a T, like Terry.
Tim.
Yeah, Tim.
Tim, okay.
Yeah.
I'm calling him Ken. I didn't know what his name was.
Yeah, Tim. Tim. What's that?
I say, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
I didn't know if I could get in touch with you, whether you were sleeping of a day and working at night or what,
Yeah, I kind of work all hours. It's just hard to, best thing to do is just what you did, just try and...
Yeah.
And, yeah, so...
Well, I enjoyed the book you wrote. It was real good.
Oh, thank you. Tell me a little bit about your history.
Oh, there's not much to it, really.
Well, I've heard some things.
Well, I wouldn't even know where to start on it, David. I'd have to write it down and think about it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
started with dogs back in the first hounds that we had was, I was just a kid. We had them back in the 50s.
Okay.
And started lion hunting then. I had just got out of the service in 1955, and I was just turning 21. I went in when I was 17, so I got out at 21, but they discharged me about a month or two early. And I tied in with the guy there in California, Ted Hasty.
Okay.
And, me and him hunted together quite a bit. He caught quite a few lions. He was catching lions before I ever even thought about catching a lion. So, and he had some pretty good little walker dogs. And he's the guy that got me into the line of dogs that Little Millie and them are out of, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ted went into the service after I was already out. He was about 3 or 4 years younger than me, and they stationed him up at Fort Lewis, Washington.
Oh, okay.
Got acquainted with Earl Kendall there.
Oh.
So he started hunting with Earl. Ted didn't drink or cuss or anything like that. The worst word you'd hear Ted say was, "Gosh dang, them dogs are running a deer," or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, he spent his weekends, I think, mostly with Earl Kendall.
Oh.
And he hunted with Little Millie, and there was a daughter to Little Millie named Bess. And her dad was a dog called Arkansas Boone. She was out of Arkansas Boone and Little Millie.
Okay.
But anyway, Ted told me that Little Millie was the smartest little dog that he ever seen as far as catching a bobcat, you know.
That's what a lot of people said. Everybody I talked to up in that area said the same thing, you know, about her.
Yeah. Well, she was quite a famous little dog. John Cason eventually bought her. He was a part-time movie actor down there in San Fernando Valley there in California, and he had a kennel out on Foothill Boulevard, and he advertised California Mac Twain quite a bit in the Full Cry.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that dog.
And he wound up buying Little Millie and Bess off of Earl Kendall. He had enough money back in those days to foot the bill, you know. The rest of us was eating beans, and he was kind of rolling in the dough, you know.
Okay.
Well, this conversation lasted about 52 minutes, and I will play the rest of it, or I'll play all of it on the next video that I put together. Bergin Riddle moved to Reserve, New Mexico, because that was the area that Ben Lilly had spent a lot of time in, between Reserve and Silver City. And I was able to visit him out there, and I stayed around the area for a few days. And Bergen took me around and showed me, the Blue River, the Lee Brothers Ranch, the Slash Ranch, home of the Slash Ranch hounds, and just some of the places that were written about Ben Lilly. And it was fascinating. It was just amazing to spend that much time with someone with that kind of knowledge and experience and history behind him. He took me up to some of the ridges and stuff and showed me some of the old lion scrapes that they're still coming to, you know, like 50 years later. And just to kind of tap into this era of history and this body of knowledge that's being lost with each one that passes away. It's sad to me that he's gone, and it's one of my great regrets that I didn't just drop everything and help him put together a book, because he had photos and stuff of Ben Lilly, old things that he had collected through the years that have not appeared in any book. And so we gotta not take these old guys for granted, y'all, and because they just won't be here with us forever. Bergen was a wonderful person. I've never found anyone that didn't just love him. Like, he's one of the most likable persons you would ever meet. But he's gone. So, all right, guys, we'll be back with some more of that conversation. Bye for now.